Listen carefully, Chosen One. This message has found you at the perfect time, and that is no accident. You have felt it your entire life. That pull, that unshakable feeling deep inside, like you are different, set apart, meant for something greater. But let me tell you something that will change the way you see yourself forever. You are not just different. You are one of God's favorites. The world may not have told you this. In fact, people have misunderstood you, rejected you, even fought against you. But the truth is, you were never meant to be like them. You were chosen, hand-picked by the divine, for a purpose far beyond what the world understands. And today, I'm going to reveal the 7 undeniable signs that prove you are one of God's chosen ones. But before we begin, I want you to confirm your presence. If this message is speaking directly to your soul, type 77, 111, or 3333 in the comments right now. These numbers are signs of divine alignment. And if you've been seeing them, it's even more proof that this message is for you. Now, before we dive deep into these 7 powerful signs, if you are a chosen one, this channel is your spiritual home. Subscribe right now and tap the bell icon so you never miss these powerful revelations. Because trust me, the world does not want you to wake up to your true power, but I do. The divine call of the chosen ones. Being God's favorite does not mean life is easy. In fact, it is often the opposite. You have walked a path filled with trials, spiritual battles, and moments where you questioned everything. You have cried out to God, asking why your life has been filled with such struggles, why people have betrayed you, why you have felt so alone. But hear this truth. The strongest warriors go through the hardest battles. The brightest souls are forged in the deepest darkness, and the most favored by God are tested the most. Because you are not ordinary, and ordinary people do not go through extraordinary struggles. If you have been set apart, misunderstood, and tested beyond your limits, it is because you are being prepared for something far greater than you can imagine. You have been called, chosen, and now it is time for you to step into that truth. Why? This message is reaching you now. Nothing in the spiritual realm happens by accident. You are watching this right now because your soul has been searching for answers. There is a shift happening within you. You are starting to see the world differently. You are questioning the old ways, feeling a deeper calling, a purpose greater than yourself. This is your awakening. And the reason you have been led here today is because it is time. Time for you to know who you really are. Time for you to embrace your divine power. Time for you to rise. The enemy has tried to keep you blind, confused, and doubting yourself. But no more. Because after today, you will never see yourself the same way again. The 7 signs that prove you are God's favorite. In just a moment, I'm going to reveal the 7 powerful signs that confirm your divine status as one of God's chosen ones. And as I go through each one, I want you to listen carefully. If even one of these signs resonates with you, you are not here by accident. You are here because God Himself has called you to remember who you are. Now, take a deep breath, focus, and open your spirit, because what I'm about to tell you could change everything. Let's begin. Sign number 1. You feel different and set apart. Listen carefully, chosen one. From the moment you came into this world, you have felt it. The difference. You have always known, deep in your soul, that you were not like the others. Maybe you couldn't explain it. Maybe you didn't have the words for it. But there was always something pulling you away from the crowd. Something about you that made you stand out, even when you tried to blend in. And here's the truth. You were never meant to fit in. The isolation of the chosen ones. People often talk about feeling alone, but your loneliness is different. It is not just about lacking friends or not being understood. It is a divine separation. God set you apart for a reason. Even as a child, you may have noticed that you couldn't relate to the same things others did. While they were focused on fitting in, following trends, or chasing material things, your mind was elsewhere. You were drawn to deeper thoughts, bigger questions, and spiritual truths that others couldn't see. Maybe you felt like an outsider in your own family. Maybe your friendships never lasted. Maybe you were surrounded by people, yet still felt completely alone. This is not a curse, chosen one. This is your confirmation. God separates those he calls. He removes them from the crowd so they can hear his voice clearly. You were born for a higher purpose. The world conditions people to chase after approval, to fit in, to follow the masses. But you? Something inside you never allowed you to do that. Even when you tried to be like everyone else, you felt the resistance. Something inside you kept pulling you back to your true self. You could never force yourself to care about the things that society worships. You could never settle for a life that was meaningless. That is because your spirit is different. While others are chasing validation, you are chasing truth. While others are consumed by distractions, you are drawn to something deeper. This is not by accident. This is by design. God placed something inside of you that refuses to conform to the world, because the world is not your home. Why the world rejects you. Have you ever wondered why people treat you differently? Why they misunderstand you? Why they push you away for no reason? Why even those you love sometimes turn against you? It is because your spirit disturbs them. People who are asleep cannot stand the presence of someone who is awake. People who live in darkness are threatened by those who carry light. They don't even know why, but something about you makes them uncomfortable. You expose the truth simply by existing. Your presence alone challenges the illusions they live under. This is why the chosen ones are often mocked, hated, and rejected. But let me remind you of something powerful. They rejected Jesus too. They mocked him. They called him crazy. They tried to silence him, destroy him. And yet, he fulfilled his purpose. So will you. The biblical pattern, chosen ones, are always set apart. Look at the greatest figures in the Bible. Every single one of them was different. Every single one of them was set apart. Joseph was rejected by his own brothers, thrown into a pit, sold as a slave, yet later ruled over them. Moses was raised among royalty, yet separated to lead his people to freedom. David was overlooked by his own family, yet chosen to be king. Jesus himself was despised, mocked, and rejected. Yet he was the Son of God. Do you see the pattern? The world always rejects the ones God chooses. The very things that made them different were the things that made them great. The pain of being an outsider was the very thing that led them to their divine mission. And the same is true for you. You may not see the full picture yet, You may still feel confused, lost, or frustrated. But trust me, one day you will look back and understand. God was setting you apart for a reason, embracing who you are. Chosen one, stop trying to fit in where you don't belong. Stop doubting yourself just because the world doesn't understand you. You were never meant to be accepted by the masses. You were meant to be set apart, molded, and prepared for something greater. The moment you accept this truth, your entire life will change. The rejection you faced, it was your protection? The loneliness you felt? It was your training, the battles you fought? They were preparing you for your purpose. You are not alone in this journey. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you need to be. God has chosen you, and what God has chosen, no one can erase. What you must do next. If this resonates with you, let it be known. Type, "I am chosen" in the comments right now. Declare it, own it, speak it into existence. And if you're ready to fully step into your divine calling, make sure you're subscribed. Tap the bell icon so you never miss another message that is meant for you. Sign number 2, you face intense spiritual battles. There is something different about the struggles you have faced in life. While others seem to move through life without too much resistance, you have felt like you were constantly in a battle. It's as if something is always working against you, trying to block your path, trying to break you down. But no matter how many times you have been knocked down, you always rise again. This is no coincidence. The chosen ones face the most intense spiritual battles because the enemy fears what they will become. From the moment you were born, darkness has been trying to stop you. The enemy recognized your light before you did. He knew that if you ever discovered who you truly are, if you ever stepped fully into your purpose, you would become unstoppable. So he sent distractions. He sent trials. He sent betrayal, heartbreak, loss, and suffering. He used people closest to you to attack you. He made you doubt yourself. He made you feel unworthy. He tried to convince you that you were alone, that no one cared, that you were not good enough. But despite everything, you are still here. And that is proof that God's hand has always been on you. Many people walk through life without ever experiencing true spiritual warfare. That is because they are not a threat to the enemy. But you are different. Your very existence is a problem for the forces of darkness. Every time you rise, you are proving that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Every battle you have fought has been shaping you, preparing you, strengthening you. You were not being punished. You were being refined. God was making you unshakable. You may have noticed that just when things start going well, something comes to knock you back down. Just when you are about to step into a new season of blessings, an attack comes out of nowhere. This is because the enemy knows when you are close to your breakthrough. He knows when God is about to elevate you, and that is when the attacks become the strongest. But if you have been feeling the pressure increase in your life, if it feels like everything is coming against you, take heart, because that means you are closer than ever to stepping into your divine purpose. There have been times when you felt like giving up, when the weight of the battles became too much to bear, when you cried out to God, asking why you had to suffer so much. But what you didn't realize is that every time you were knocked down, you were rising stronger. Every attack that was meant to destroy you only made you wiser, more powerful, and more connected to God. The enemy wanted to break you, but all he did was build you. Look at the story of Job. He was a faithful servant of God, Yet he lost everything. His wealth, his health, his family, everything was stripped away. But Job did not lose faith. He endured the test, and in the end, God restored him with double the blessings he had before. The same will happen for you. What the enemy has stolen, God will return to you in abundance. Every loss, every tear, every betrayal, it was all a setup for something greater. You have likely experienced intense spiritual attacks in your dreams. The enemy operates in the unseen realm, attacking when you are most vulnerable. Nightmares, sleep paralysis, disturbing visions. These are not just random events. These are spiritual battles. But even in your sleep, you are fighting and winning. You may have felt a dark presence in your room, an unshakable heaviness over your spirit, or a feeling of being watched. These are signs that the enemy has been trying to intimidate you. But he knows he has already lost. You belong to God, and nothing can snatch you from his hands. The reason your battles have been so intense is because of what is inside you. You are not like the rest. You carry something powerful within you, something the world needs. The enemy would not be fighting you this hard if you were not dangerous to him. If you have been under attack, it is because heaven has marked you for greatness. Many chosen ones face battles in their relationships. People turn against you for no reason. Friends betray you. Family members treat you like an outcast. The enemy uses those closest to you because he knows that is where it will hurt the most. He wants you to feel alone, isolated, rejected. But do not be deceived. These attacks are meant to distract you from your path. When people leave, let them go. When doors close, trust that better ones will open. What is meant for you cannot be taken away. Chosen one, you have faced battles that most people would not survive. And yet, here you are, still standing, still pushing forward, still rising. That is the power of God within you. That is proof that no matter what the enemy tries, he cannot destroy what God has blessed. Your strength comes from your faith. Every battle has taught you to trust in God, to rely on his power, to walk by faith and not by sight. You have seen miracles happen in your life. You have experienced divine intervention. You have been pulled out of situations that should have destroyed you. And that is because you are not alone in this fight. Sign number 3, you have an unbreakable spirit. Chosen one, no matter what life has thrown at you, you are still here. You have been knocked down, betrayed, abandoned, tested beyond what you thought you could endure. And yet, you refuse to break. This is one of the greatest signs that you are God's favorite. Because only those who are truly chosen go through the fire and come out untouched. Only those with divine favor can survive what was meant to destroy them. Think back on your life. Think about the times when you thought you wouldn't make it. The moments when everything was against you, when the pain was too much, when you felt like you had nothing left to give. But somehow, you kept going. Somehow, you found the strength to rise again. That was not by accident. That was not your own strength alone. That was the hand of God over your life. That was divine protection, guiding you, lifting you up when you couldn't stand on your own. Many people crumble under pressure. They give up when things get hard. They lose faith when life doesn't go their way. But not you. You have something inside you that refuses to quit. Even when you feel weak, there is a fire inside of you that never goes out. That fire is your spirit. That fire is proof that you are chosen. The enemy has tried everything to break you. He has attacked your mind, your body, your relationships, your finances. He has used people against you. He has tried to fill your heart with doubt, fear, and despair. But no matter how many battles you have faced, you are still standing. Even when you have felt broken, you have never been completely destroyed. That is what makes you different. That is what makes you chosen. There were times when you should have given up, but you didn't. There were situations that should have crushed your spirit, but somehow you found the strength to keep going. That strength is not ordinary. It is divine. It is the strength of someone who has been marked by God. The reason you have survived everything you have been through is because your mission is not over. You still have work to do. You still have a purpose to fulfill. Many people around you may not understand how you keep going. They may look at your life and wonder how you are still standing after everything that has happened to you. Some may even envy your resilience, not knowing the battles you have fought in silence. But the truth is, the strongest warriors are the ones who have endured the most pain. The brightest souls are the ones who have walked through the darkest valleys. The most powerful spirits are the ones who have been tested in the fire and did not burn. Look at the story of Paul in the Bible. He was beaten, imprisoned, shipwrecked, and persecuted. But he never stopped preaching. He never gave up on his mission. He understood that no matter what happened to him, God's purpose for his life was greater. And because of that, nothing could break him. The same is true for you. No matter what the world throws at you, you will not break. There is something inside you that cannot be defeated. That is why you have survived everything you have been through. That is why, even in your weakest moments, you still find a way to push forward. You may have been tired, but you never quit. You may have cried, but you never gave up. You may have stumbled, but you always got back up. That is what makes you different. That is what makes you chosen. Your resilience is not just for you. It is part of your mission. Every battle you have faced, every struggle you have overcome, has been shaping you into the person you were meant to be. You are a living testimony of God's power. You are proof that nothing can break a soul that is protected by the divine. Chosen one, you need to understand that your unbreakable spirit is a gift. It is not something that everyone has. Many people give up at the first sign of struggle. They lose faith when things don't go their way. But you keep going. You keep believing. You keep fighting. And because of that, God will continue to elevate you. The enemy will keep trying. He will send obstacles, distractions, and attacks. But none of it will work. Because once you realize who you are, once you fully step into your divine power, nothing can stop you. Your spirit is unbreakable because it is connected to the source. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. No plan of the enemy will succeed. You are covered. You are protected. You are chosen. Sign number 4. You have a deep connection to the divine. Chosen one. There is something different about the way you experience the world. While others move through life unaware, disconnected, and lost in distractions, you have always felt something greater. You have always sensed a presence beyond what the eyes can see. A voice, a force, a knowing deep within you that has guided you, protected you, and spoken to you in ways that others do not understand. This is not your imagination. This is your divine connection. From an early age, you have felt drawn to spirituality, to higher wisdom, to seeking the truth beyond the surface. While others are content with the physical world, you hunger for something more. You see signs, experience synchronicities, and feel an unexplainable pull toward God, the universe, or the divine source. You have moments where you just know things before they happen. You sense energies. You pick up on things that no one else seems to notice. You may have experienced vivid dreams, prophetic visions, or divine messages that come to you out of nowhere. This is not random. This is proof that you are connected to something greater. Your intuition is powerful. It has saved you more times than you can count. There have been moments when you felt something was wrong before it happened. Times when your spirit told you to walk away, to take a different path, to avoid certain people or situations. And when you listened, you later realized that you were right. That was not just a feeling. That was divine guidance. God speaks to you in ways that many people ignore, through dreams, through gut instincts, through signs that appear in your daily life. And when you pay attention, you begin to see that you are being led, protected, and prepared for something greater. Have you ever noticed repeating numbers like 111, 222, 333, or 777? Have you ever looked at the clock at just the right moment? Seen a message or symbol that spoke directly to your soul, or felt a sudden wave of peace in the middle of chaos? These are not coincidences. These are messages, confirmations from the divine, reminders that you are on the right path. The universe, God, your angels, your guides, whatever name you choose to give it, are speaking to you constantly. They are trying to get your attention, to remind you of who you are and why you are here. Your connection to the divine is not just about signs and messages. It is about how you move through life. You feel things deeply. You are sensitive to energy. You can walk into a room and instantly sense whether something is right or wrong. You can feel when someone is lying, when they have bad intentions, when their energy is off. You are drawn to nature, to quiet moments of reflection, to deep conversations that go beyond the surface. The noise of the world does not satisfy you. You crave something deeper, something real. This is because your soul remembers. It remembers where it came from. It remembers the truth beyond this physical world. And no matter how much you try to ignore it, that connection will always be there. People may have called you strange for this. They may have said you are too sensitive, too emotional, too lost in your own world. But the truth is, they do not understand what it means to be spiritually awake. They do not understand what it means to be chosen. Most people are disconnected from their divine nature. They are lost in the distractions of the world, blind to the signs that surround them every day. But you see beyond the illusion. You feel the presence of something greater, and you cannot ignore it. This connection has not always been easy. There have been moments when you felt abandoned, when you questioned everything, when you wondered why God was silent. But even in your darkest moments, you were never truly alone. Even when you felt lost, something always brought you back. You have seen prayers answered in ways that seemed impossible. You have experienced miracles, even if they were small. You have felt divine intervention in moments when you needed it most. This is the proof that you are favored, that you are guided, that you are chosen. The enemy has tried to weaken this connection. He has tried to distract you, to make you doubt, to make you feel disconnected from God. He has sent people and situations into your life to shake your faith, to make you question your purpose. But no matter what has happened, your spirit has always found its way back. That is because your connection to the divine is unbreakable. It cannot be taken from you, no matter how hard the enemy tries. You may go through seasons of silence, seasons of doubt, but you will always return, because God has placed something within you that cannot be erased. This connection is not just for you. It is meant to guide others. You are here to be a light, to help awaken those who are still asleep, to be a bridge between the seen and unseen. Your wisdom, your intuition, your spiritual insight, it is all part of your divine calling. You have been given a gift, and it is time to embrace it fully. Chosen one, do not let the world convince you that your connection is not real. Do not let anyone make you feel crazy for what you see, hear, and feel. You are not imagining things. You are not making it up. You are tuned into something that most people cannot comprehend. And that is exactly why you are chosen. Sign number 5. You feel drawn to a higher purpose. Chosen one, you have always known that you were meant for something greater. Even when you didn't have the words to explain it, you felt it. A quiet pull in your soul, a restlessness that never goes away, a knowing that your life is not meant to be ordinary. While others are content with simply existing, you have always craved something deeper, something more. This feeling is not an accident. It is not just a dream or a random thought. It is the divine whisper of your calling. It is God telling you that you were sent here for a reason. Many people live their lives without ever questioning their purpose. They follow the path that society has laid out for them. Go to school, get a job, make money, settle down, and repeat the cycle. But you have never been able to accept that. You have always felt like there is more to life than just surviving, more to life than just going through the motions. That is because you are chosen. You were not sent here to follow the crowd. You were sent here to lead, to guide, to awaken others. Have you ever noticed how you feel out of place in certain environments? How normal conversations bore you? How meaningless routines drain your energy? It is because your spirit craves purpose. You were designed for something far beyond the ordinary. Your soul is restless because it refuses to settle for anything less than what you were meant to do. And no matter how much you try to ignore it, no matter how much you try to live like everyone else, this feeling never leaves you. That is because your higher purpose is calling you. You may not fully understand what your purpose is yet, but deep down, you know it is there. It reveals itself in the things you are passionate about, in the ways you feel drawn to help others, in the moments when you feel most alive. You feel this intense urge to make a difference, to heal, to guide, to inspire, and every time you try to ignore it, life finds a way to push you back onto the right path. That is because when God chooses someone, He does not let them stay asleep. He does not allow them to settle. He will keep calling you, keep shaking you, keep reminding you until you step fully into who you were meant to be. Look at the people around you. Most of them are just going through life without thinking about anything deeper. They are focused on material things, chasing money, status, validation. But none of those things have ever satisfied you. No matter how much success you achieve in the world's eyes, there is always something missing. That is because your soul is not looking for material success. Your soul is searching for something eternal. Chosen ones often feel lost before they find their purpose. You may have gone through phases of doubt, where you felt confused about why you are here. You may have tried different paths, different careers, different ways of living, only to feel unfulfilled. That is because your true purpose is not something you can force. It is something you must awaken to. And that awakening happens when you surrender to God's plan for your life. When you stop chasing what the world tells you to chase and start listening to the call within. Many of the greatest leaders, prophets, and warriors of God did not start out knowing their purpose. Moses did not know he would lead a nation to freedom. David did not know he would become a king. Esther did not know she would save her people. They were all just ordinary people who felt an extraordinary calling. And when the time was right, they stepped into their divine roles. The same will happen for you. Your purpose is not just about what you do. It is about who you are. It is about the light you carry, the wisdom you share, the impact you make just by being you. You do not have to be famous. You do not have to be rich. You do not have to be perfect. You just have to be willing. Willing to step into your calling. Willing to trust that God has a plan for your life. Willing to embrace the path that was created specifically for you. The reason you have been through so many trials is because your purpose requires strength. God does not give great missions to weak souls. He prepares His chosen ones through fire, through struggles, through moments where they have no choice but to trust Him. Every battle you have fought, every hardship you have endured, every loss you have suffered, it was all shaping you for the higher calling on your life. You may feel like you are still waiting for clarity, still searching for direction. That is okay. Purpose unfolds in divine timing. It reveals itself step by step. Your only job is to keep moving forward, to keep seeking truth, to keep listening to that inner voice that is guiding you. You do not have to have all the answers right now. You just have to be willing to answer the call when it comes. Sign number 6. You have been through a dark night of the soul, chosen one. You have walked through darkness that most people could never understand. You have faced storms that shook you to your core. Moments where everything you thought you knew collapsed right before your eyes. You have felt lost, broken, and completely alone, wondering if you would ever find your way again. This was not just a difficult phase of life. This was your dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul is not an ordinary struggle. It is a complete spiritual breakdown, a process of stripping away everything that is not meant for you. It is the moment when God removes the illusions, takes away the distractions, and forces you to see the truth about yourself, your life, and your purpose. And it is painful. It is isolating. It feels like everything you relied on has been ripped away, leaving you in a void of confusion and despair. But what you did not realize in those moments is that this was not the end. It was a rebirth. During your dark night, you lost things that you thought you could never live without. People you loved turned against you. Relationships crumbled. Friendships ended. Your plans fell apart. Your faith was tested in ways you never imagined. It felt as if everything was being taken away from you, leaving you with nothing. But in reality, God was clearing the path. He was removing the things, people, and situations that were no longer aligned with who you were becoming. He was preparing you for something greater. This process is terrifying because it makes you question everything. You begin to wonder if you ever really knew who you were. You question your beliefs, your choices, your purpose. You feel disconnected from the world around you, like a stranger in your own life. And for a time, you may have even felt disconnected from God. You prayed, but it felt like no one was listening. You cried out for answers, but silence was all you received. It felt as though God had abandoned you. But the truth is, He was closer than ever. God allows His chosen ones to go through the dark night of the soul because it is the only way to truly awaken. When everything is taken away, you are forced to find your true self. You are stripped of the masks, the false identities, the attachments to things that do not serve your higher calling. You are left with nothing but your soul, standing raw and exposed before God. And in that moment, something incredible happens. You begin to see clearly. This is the moment of transformation. When you realize that the things you lost were never truly meant for you. When you understand that the pain you endured was actually shaping you. When you finally surrender, letting go of your need to control and allowing God to lead you. And when this happens, you are no longer the same. The person who enters the dark night is not the same person who comes out of it. You emerge stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true purpose. Most people will never experience a dark night of the soul because they are not ready to awaken. They stay in their comfort zones, avoiding the truth, refusing to let go of what is familiar. But you were chosen for something greater. You were meant to wake up, to see beyond the illusion, to step into the power that has always been inside you. And that awakening could only come through the fire. Look at the stories of the greatest chosen ones in history. Jesus went into the wilderness for 40 days, facing isolation and temptation before stepping into his divine mission. Job lost everything he had, his family, his wealth, his health, before God restored him with double blessings. Jonah was swallowed by darkness in the belly of a great fish before he was placed back on the right path. Every great spiritual warrior has faced a moment of complete destruction before stepping into their destiny, and you are no different. The hardest part of the dark night is not the loss, but the transformation. It requires you to let go of everything you thought you knew. It forces you to trust in God completely, even when you cannot see the way forward. It demands that you break free from old patterns, old beliefs, and old versions of yourself that no longer serve who you are becoming. It is not just a test, it is a purification. And now, here you are. You have been through the fire, but you did not burn. You have been through the storm, but you did not drown. You have seen the darkness, but it did not consume you. You are still standing, stronger, wiser, more powerful than ever before, because God was with you the entire time. Even when you felt abandoned, He was guiding you. Even when you felt broken, He was rebuilding you. Even when you felt lost, He was leading you home. Chosen one, if you have walked through the dark night of the soul, know that it was not for nothing. You were not being punished. You were being prepared. You were not being abandoned. You were being set apart. You were not being destroyed. You were being reborn. The pain you endured has given you wisdom that most people will never have. The suffering you went through has unlocked gifts, insight, and strength that will serve you for the rest of your life. You are no longer who you used to be, and that is a blessing. Now, as you move forward, you must embrace this new version of yourself. You cannot go back to the way things were. You cannot lower yourself to fit into places you have outgrown. You must walk boldly in your new power, knowing that everything you have been through was necessary for your evolution. You are no longer the same, and the world will see it. Sign number 7. You attract miracles, favor, and divine timing. Chosen one, have you ever noticed that just when you thought all hope was lost, something happened that changed everything? Have you experienced moments where things seemed impossible, yet somehow a door opened at the last second? Have you been in situations where you were unqualified, unprepared, or even overlooked, yet you still ended up in the right place at the right time? These are not coincidences. This is divine favor. This is the hand of God moving in your life. When you are one of God's favorites, miracles follow you. Things align for you in ways that others cannot understand. The right people show up at the right time. The opportunities you need seem to find you effortlessly. Even when you face obstacles, solutions appear from unexpected places. This is because you are not walking through life alone. You are divinely guided, protected, and favored beyond measure. Many times, you may not even realize how much favor you have until you look back. Think about the times when you were in trouble, yet somehow things worked out. Think about the times when you didn't know how you were going to make it, yet a blessing came just in time. You have survived things that others could not. You have been placed in positions that others worked years to reach. You have received blessings that you know you didn't earn by yourself. This is the evidence that you are chosen. Divine timing has always been at work in your life. There have been times when you wanted something to happen immediately, but it didn't. You prayed, you waited, and still nothing seemed to move. But later, when things finally fell into place, you realized why it had to happen that way. God's timing is perfect. He does not work on human schedules. He does not rush, and he does not delay. When something is meant for you, it will come at exactly the right moment, not a second earlier or later. There were doors that were closed to you, and at the time, it felt like rejection. But later, you saw that those doors were never meant for you. If you had walked through them, they would have led you away from your true path. There were relationships that ended, and at the time, it felt like loss. But later, you saw that those people could not go where you were going. Everything that has ever been taken from you was only removed to make space for something greater. People may look at your life and not understand how you keep rising. They may not understand why you always find a way, why you always seem to be in the right place at the right time, why you continue to be blessed despite the struggles you have faced. But they do not see what is happening in the spiritual realm. They do not see the divine favor that covers you. Even when you go through difficult seasons, you always come out on top. Even when you face setbacks, something always happens that puts you right back on track. This is because no matter what the enemy tries, he cannot stop what God has planned for you. The favor on your life is too strong. No one can block what God has already set in motion. The story of Joseph in the Bible is a perfect example of divine favor. His own brothers betrayed him and sold him into slavery. He was thrown into prison for something he did not do. For years it seemed like he was forgotten, like his dreams would never come true. But at the right time, in a single day, he went from the prison to the palace. He became second in command over all of Egypt, fulfilling the destiny that had been written for him all along. This is what divine timing looks like. When the time is right, God will elevate you in ways that no man can stop. Chosen one. If you have been seeing signs, if you have been experiencing moments of unexpected blessings, if you have found yourself in situations where things worked out in ways you could not explain, this is proof that you are walking in divine favor. The universe is aligning things for you. The doors that are meant for you will open effortlessly. The people who are meant to help you will appear when you need them. You do not have to force anything. What is meant for you will always find you. This does not mean you will never face challenges. In fact, the enemy will try even harder to stop you because he knows how favored you are. But no attack can change what has already been written. No obstacle can block the path that God has laid out for you. The favor on your life is too powerful. Chosen one, you must embrace this truth. You are not just lucky. You are not just in the right place at the right time by accident. You are moving according to divine order. You have a destiny that is unfolding exactly as it is meant to. Trust in the process. Trust in the timing. Know that everything is happening for a reason, even the things that do not make sense right now. Life-changing conclusion. Chosen one. Now you know the truth. You are not ordinary. You have been set apart, tested, strengthened, and guided for a divine purpose. Everything you have faced, every struggle, every loss, every moment of doubt, was preparing you for the path that is unfolding before you. You are one of God's favorites, and no force in this world can take that from you. Now is the time to step fully into your power. No more questioning, no more doubting. You have been given the signs, and now you must walk boldly in the favor that has been placed over your life. The battles you have fought have not been in vain. The isolation, the hardships, the awakening, it was all leading you here to this very moment. If this message has awakened something in you, type, "I accept my calling" in the comments. Stand in your truth. Walk in your destiny. And if you are ready to continue on this journey of wisdom and revelation, subscribe now and tap the bell icon so you never miss what is meant for you. This is only the beginning. Your time has come. Rise, chosen one. The world is waiting for you.